Welcome to TalkCarWash Connect. Our mission at Talk Car Wash is to connect the car wash community to insight and advice from car washers around the world. Our topic today is 20x ROI with LiveReach AI. Discover how AI infrastructure and software from LiveReach are transforming car wash operations.
Cool. Thank you, Blake. A few housekeeping items. If something grabs your attention or sparks a question, text us, email us, DM us, however you need to get a message to us, and we'll make sure that the LiveReach team answers it. The sessions are being recorded and will be available on all of our Talk Car Wash platforms, including our YouTube channel, in case you'd like to rewatch it later. Um, let's get on with some introductions. Preston, we're really excited to have you here. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and Washmasters?
Thanks, guys, for having me. I'm Preston. I'm from Dallas, Texas. My time in the car wash industry has been about 3 years. Prior to it, I went to college, spent 5 years in the military, and then reconnected with Mohammed, who's the CEO of Washmasters, asked if there were some opportunities there, and then moved back to Dallas and kind of jumped right in with our sites and I currently operate our Sherman, Texas location. And so it's been a really fun journey. Happy to be here. The company Washmasters started in 2004, and then we started with our first site in Irving,
Hmm.
and then now we will have 30 locations by the end of the year. And from a franchise perspective, we're building and we're trying to hit 50 in the next 3 years. And
It's a lot of
so
growth. That's a
a
lot
lot
of
of
growth.
growth. I think we have the largest market share in North Texas. It's family owned, and it's a really tight group. And we're just trying to deliver the best product to our customers and really push the customer service. And that's why I'm here. LiveReach has helped us in a lot of ways on the operations side with the team.
Love to
So
hear
I
it.
assume if they assigned you on this call, you probably know a lot about the camera system.
Right.
Just enough to be dangerous.
Right.
Got it.
And Preston, as far as your guys' team, how many team members is Washmasters up to now? You know how many employees you guys have, roughly?
Across all of our
Oh,
locations.
yeah,
That I would imagine 150 to 200,
yeah. So getting up there, being
maybe
pretty big.
maybe much more, maybe 15 to 20 employees per site. So I guess 600 actually. So
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure it's a lot. So
right,
it's an army for sure. So, well,
yeah.
thank you for sharing, Preston. So, Roger, for anyone who hasn't heard of LiveReach, what do you guys do? And maybe you could share a little bit about yourself as well.
Yeah, thanks for having us. So, I think to kind of give you some context, so I've been kind of in the car wash space for almost a decade now. Initially, I started with a tech company called Jolt. We did all things kind of digital checklist, preventive maintenance and things of that nature. From there, I actually was the founding account executive over at Rinse.
Mm,
And I was over there for about 3 years. And then early this year, I joined the LiveReach team. I saw what Avi and kind of the LiveReach team was doing with video analytics, and just saw that they were kind of doing some things that were kind of game changer. But to kind of answer your question, what is LiveReach? So easy way to think of LiveReach, it's an AI powered infrastructure and software that helps really car wash operators unlock profitability and really operational deficiencies, right? So we're able to integrate with kind of existing cameras and also or include cameras ourselves.
mhm.
Uh, but we're essentially using cameras to really help operators know which areas they can improve. And I think if you were to kind of lay down kind of the main core tools in the platform today, there's kind of three. First one being, damage claims. We'll talk a little bit about that, but really, how do we reduce that the headache that comes with managing damage claims and
Mm,
really kind of streamline the process? And then the next one being, data analytics. For such a long period, and especially with my tech background in this industry, uh, so many operators have been really flying blindly as to what's happening, what are their customers doing, what percentage of customers are going to the vacuums after they wash their vehicle. Do we have attendants out there? When we
Kind
need
of
to
just
have
flying blind.
exactly, yeah, they're flying
Unless you saw
blind.
it with your own eyes or you're watching the cameras, that's really the only way.
Yep, exactly, right. And then kind of the last kind of, and our newest tool is Sales Coach, right? And the idea there is, how do we help operators really increase memberships through consistency just by capturing both the audio and video so they can train up their team.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Thank you for the introduction. So Preston, Roger kind of covered this in his first topic, but damage claims. I know you've dealt with your share of claims, I'm sure, as a site
Sure.
manager. What have been some of the main challenges that you've had with those, and how has LiveReach helped assist you with those?
Yeah, I think that the thing that I appreciate a lot about LiveReach is the platform and the way that you can case damage claims is very intuitive. And so, you can very easily go and in 4K clip, portions of, whatever incident happened, and then you can pull the license plate information, and then you can lay out the videos in a way where, you can look internally and see what was going on, or maybe you want to approach the customer and explain, whatever it could be. And the platform allows you to really see that video footage very clearly and laid out in a way that you want. And then you can compress it and you can very easily save the video, um, and then save it internally or send it off. And so it's just a really easy process. And I've been really pleased with that.
Awesome, man. The simplicity is a big part that I've heard.
Big time.
Yeah, absolutely. So, kind of my next question is going to be for you, Roger, which is what's new on the roadmap to make damage claim handling even better? Because it's definitely a process that we always want to keep evolving because it's a sticky situation, but it could definitely be process driven, and I'm sure you guys have some things that are helping out with that there.
Yeah, most definitely. I think if you look at the historical context of kind of this damage claim process, for a lot of operators, that really meant going back, you were playing, uh, you know, Inspector Gadget, trying to figure out which video captured the actual incident, trying to figure out, did I get the right video? I don't think I downloaded the right video. I manually put it into this folder that, hopefully the site manager put it in the right folder, right? And so as you can see, that can take a lot of minutes, sometimes hours. And, time is of the essence for these customers, right? When a customer is saying, hey, like I'm waiting to hear back from these guys, and now it's been like 10 days at that point, regardless whether you're in the right or the wrong, to them, they feel like, they're in the wrong, right? Just because
Hmm.
we took so long to get back to that customer. So the first one is there's kind of three new enhancements that, off the top of my head. The first one is really AI clipping. So all the customer needs to do at this point is simply gather, or I guess the LiveReach user, all they need to do is gather the license plate of the actual customer. At that point, once they have the license plate, LiveReach is going to do the rest of the work for you. You're not sitting
Go
there
and
trying to
grab it.
figure out which
Yeah.
camera, which angle, what time. We have the license plate. We're able to kind of compile these clips. And then the next one from there is kind of the automated case creation. So it coincides with this AI clipping. And the idea there is, once the plate is entered, it's creating this damage claim form. And then really it's helping with the workflow. So if that needs to go to a site manager, or if there's someone else that needs to get involved, or in the event that, some groups might have a slightly different process, whatever the
Mhm.
workflow is, we're going to help speed that. And that's really the last part, is the workflow speed, right? We time, as I said earlier, time is of the essence. The quicker we can do these things, get the legwork, the headache for a lot of these site managers that say, you know what, I hate dealing with these damage claims because it's such a process. And so we just really want to simplify that.
Yeah, and Roger, I was thinking about when you were talking, like the even the value on a single site where you have like multiple key holders where they're kind of exposed to damage claims all the way up to ownership, or a multi-site operation to where you have multi-levels of management and then case escalation and so forth. So it may work when you have a smaller amount of claims, but when it really starts to pile up, you kind of mentioned it, that delay of communication, that delay of getting back to them, really when they just want to have the peace of mind that it didn't happen at the wash, and that, hey, we spotted it, all's good, just to let you know it was on there, right before it went in the wash, so it didn't happen here. So you can know that you have peace of mind in the future versus taking a week or 2 weeks to get back to them and then them going on Facebook and a social tear and being really upset when it was just a delay of getting back to them. So that's really valuable.
Yeah, I think too the part you mentioned about the site managers, we've asked site managers many times and they always go, man, I hate having to find these claims. I hate having to find these claims. When there's a tool out there that can help you, that especially just by putting a license plate in, not having to scroll through and scrub all the footage, that's a huge win for their time. They've got better things to be doing. Um, Hey, so Preston, something that was brought up was analytics kind of in that convo. When you think about how you guys use analytics across your sites, are there any particular things you guys track, like vacuum usage or site metrics that could be important to the people watching the call?
Yeah, that's stuff that we have been testing, and we'll utilize the outside cameras, which are all linked into the LiveReach in VR, and we're able to draw boxes so that the AI can recognize, hey, what's the dwell time here of the vehicle, or maybe there's a hard line that's an entrance to your vacuum area. You can count sort of how many vehicles are entering that area, and then you can also track, your high usage hours, average time. And then of course there's also the license plate reading aspect there. That's very cool. We're also playing around with, we're starting to put detail belts in, at our flex locations as well. And so we're utilizing LiveReach to really kind of get into the details on the time and, the quality of, the detailing that we're doing there. And then we're also using the license plate recognition there as well.
You talk about those particular things that you guys are tracking. I know a big thing is people presence. Another thing that's in there is you mentioned vacuums.
Yep.
There's unattended vehicles. What do you find to be the most important day to day that you guys can take the analytics and actually go to your site
Yeah.
managers and make improvements with?
I spend a lot of my time focusing on the sales associates and the kiosks because we really want every customer to be greeted and to have that interaction. And so we have boxes set up through LiveReach where we can, look at the lane attendance with our employees to ensure that they're out there.
Mhm.
And then, if you have a large area where you have lanes, maybe there's an area where it's best for the sales associate to be. You can even very accurately draw a box of a
Yeah.
specific area that you want the sales.
Visibility, not hiding behind signs or the pay
Exactly.
stations and yeah.
Yeah, it's like, hey, you're going to be most visible and most able to wave in the employee and deliver good experience if you're in this location. And
Yep.
LiveReach lets you draw, a square for that specific area. And so it is helpful. And I spend a lot of my time utilizing LiveReach for the damage claims if they do happen, but I spend a lot of my time using that, really on the sales side is probably where I'm utilizing it a lot. And I use it every day, but that's just sort of kind of where I find myself.
Got it. Thank you for sharing that. Roger, do
Sure.
you have anything you would like to add to that?
Yeah, no, I think Preston kind of hit the nail there. So I think, the way we kind of think about some of these like dashboards and really some of the data points, it's really understanding what are my customers doing when they come here. Are they actually spending time? Even just something as simple as like, hey, it's a Saturday morning. We have this individual that's been in a vacuum stall for an hour now,
Yep.
and not a single person from the staff has approached him to see what's going on, right? So even just being able to fire a real-time alert saying, hey, you've got somebody in vacuum stall one that has
Yeah.
been there for an hour,
Someone's
right?
taking a nap or detailing their car, you know?
Exactly, right? Like what's going on? Let's get those real-time alerts. And there's a lot of things that we're able to do with that. We've even had groups where they say, hey, every morning, 7:30 a.m., we need to have people in the equipment room. If there's no one there at 7:30 in the morning and there's certain things that they need to check, I want to be alerted about that, right? Whether or not they were
hmm
there. So there's
Like,
just a
hey, they
lot of
fired
things.
up the wash, but they didn't go in the back room, or
Correct. Yeah.
things
Yeah.
like that, to where it's like you could find the gaps and the weakness in their opening checklist.
Yeah, and we have an open API integration. So some groups are starting to utilize, even like Slack or
Mhm.
Teams and some of these other things where, hey, we need to be notified about these things in real time instead of maybe just
Mhm.
getting an email or maybe even a text, but so that, leadership is in the know about some of these operational inefficiencies.
Yeah, and over the past, 5 to 10 years, we've seen a massive push towards memberships, Roger. the industry has really evolved to be not just retail and full service, but really the express model and memberships, and the ease of that process has really taken, the industry by storm. So how does the tool sales coach help operators improve their sales performance? What does it do for them, and what does it kind of overall improve as far as being a tool in the arsenal?
Roger, I think too, just because it's fairly new and you guys do it differently than a lot of other people, I would explain kind of the details with the mic and stuff like that.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, definitely. So as I mentioned earlier, sales coach is kind of our newest tool. And what gets us really excited about sales coach is it's really helping to understand what is actually being pitched at the pay stations, right? So for too long, so many groups have said, I go through the hassle of training, I go through all this work to train my staff. They say the script exactly how they want it, they walk off the site, and then they kind of revert back to their old way of selling, right? And then all of a sudden we start looking at the conversion rates and we say, okay, why is this site still struggling with conversion rates, right?
Yeah.
So there's really two things that the best operators do. The first one is they're consistent, right? They want to make sure that every vehicle that comes through, that they want to know about a membership, right? So
Hmm.
that's kind of the first thing. And so one of the things that we're able to do with LiveReach is we're able to say, hey, look, you had 100 vehicles, you had 100 retail vehicles that came through in the last couple of hours, and you only had somebody there 80% of the time, right? And
Yeah.
so once again, this is something that's going to move the needle. So we're able to report on that, send real-time alerts. And then the second piece of that is actually recording the pitch, right? So for every group that we worked with, it's a little bit different, right? Some groups say, hey, this is the script I want. I don't want you to deviate. Other groups say, hey, we don't really have a script, but maybe we have these three main points. One being, I want to make sure they sell memberships and whatever else it is that they're pushing. But at the end of the day, we want to be able to see kind of what's actually being said. And so the way we go about that is we say, wait, we've already got video there. Why can't we collect audio? So now you can also say, hey, not only am I coaching up on the actual audio of what's actually being pitched, but maybe there's body language. Somebody's maybe slouching, or maybe there's some things that they're doing that maybe might be hurting their conversion rate. Maybe they're hiding behind the pay station or whatever the case is. So we want to make that process really simple and easy, and then give you guys the data, and then even have real time leaderboards so that you guys can see, hey, look, this person's doing really well, or we have a new promo that we just sent out, and sometimes with those new promos, your employees struggle pushing out those new promos because they're so way in their scripted way of doing things. But it's like, hey, Joe Schmo over here is killing it. Let's listen to
Yeah,
10
you
of his
you can
pitches that he put
gamify it,
memberships, and let's
and
incorporate that into our training.
yeah, raise your all-star to highlight what they're doing right, so everyone's like, okay, that's what I need to do.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah, and I've seen a lot of operators, with the gamification of it, they'll put it up on a display, in the lobby so that the team can see, the leaderboard live and where everyone's at. I know that can help push numbers along as well.
Hey, and Preston, I'm gonna assume you guys are an active sales coach user.
Yeah, we are. We've been doing a lot of the early testing, and I use it every day for my at my pay stations. And just like Roger's saying, um, the feature that I really like is that you can add keywords that the AI is looking for, and so you can easily know, hey, did the sales associate did they greet? Did they pitch the promotion that I was looking for? Did they upsell? Maybe I'm running a BOGO or something on my wash. And then you can sort as well. So if you have lots of vehicles coming through your car wash in a day, you might have a lot of pitches. And so it's like, hey, how do I sort of identify, you know, what are good pitches, what are bad? And so you can actually add and subtract keywords in searches. And
Mm.
so if you're looking for, hey, who pitched really well, you can see them all by keyword. And then you can also eliminate keywords that indicate that they didn't greet the customer, or that
Mhm.
they didn't
So you
pitch
have
them.
some pattern recognition, so
Mhm.
you're able to see what's
Yeah,
working.
and and then that lets me condense, a list of a few hundred pitches in a day. It'll let me see, oh man, we let 10 cut we didn't serve 10 customers very well today, and here are the 10, pitches where the vehicle came through
Yeah.
and
What
get
wash you want, things like that,
yeah, and
So,
and that's what we
but,
want to eliminate. We want the consistency to be there, and we want all of our sales associates to be on the same page and to be
Yep.
executing the same way every day. So
so Preston, I assume you were in return using that to kind of hold your team members accountable, sit down, review those
yeah.
videos, what you did correctly, what you can improve on.
Yeah, it's very helpful for training. If you've got some all-stars, it's like, hey, look at what this individual did, and let's show the team, hey, maybe there was some charisma there, the way that they pitched it. Let's showcase that to the team. And then maybe it's, hey, we have a new sales associate or two that's training right now, and we use that to show them, hey, this is one of the pitches that you did today. These are a few things that you can do that's really gonna align yourself with the way that we're doing things here, and
Yeah.
then
Talking
provide.
too fast, talking too
Right.
quiet,
Yeah.
saying too much words when it's not the
hmm
script, things like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so it's good for your best players and for your newest players as well on the team. So
Cool, thank you. Roger, do you want to cover any more like the key features on that?
No, I think, obviously it's an evolving product. So today we have over 1,000 sites that use the LiveReach platform. Sales Coach, we've got over 200 sites, and this is something that was just launched, almost 3 months ago. So even just a short
Quick
period,
adoption.
yeah,
Yeah.
we've already got a lot of adoption. A lot of people are saying, "Man, this is something that we need." We want to be able to have those pitches, and more importantly, something that's consistent, and then making sure that we have kind of the clear audio, right? And so that's what we're doing on the back end. We're capturing the audio, we're transcribing that, we're letting you guys see what's actually being said, and then as Preston said, letting their teams say, hey, how can we coach on this? How can we get better and evolve and really kind of convert at a higher rate?
Awesome. And I know that we had talked to Avi a few times, and I'd heard him say that people are talking about AI is in the future. It's the present. LiveReach is
Mhm.
helping a lot of people achieve ROI and kind of operational clarity. What's next for, if you can address it, what's next for LiveReach?
Yeah, so we always want to make sure that our product is basically in the hands of our users, right? So, if our users are saying, "Hey, this is not useful, this is not helpful," we're never going to sit there and say, "All right, well, let's just try to push it on them," right? So we take a lot of feedback from our users, what they're doing. With Sales Coach, as I mentioned, one of the new things that we just have in Sales Coach is having a leaderboard. So now we can actually highlight individuals and say, hey, look, this person, this is where they're at in sales. But more importantly, now we have that associated video footage. So we're continuing to evolve the product. I'm sure even Preston has seen some enhancements from when we rolled it out 3 months ago. And this is just growing, and it's only getting bigger.
Preston, when you think about LiveReach and kind of where they started and where they came from, what excites you the most?
the thing that I like so much is that the if I have feedback, generally it's very quick where they will update, the dashboard to kind of reflect the things that I need. And so especially with Sales Coach, when we were first testing it, you know, they were very quickly rolling out features that were helpful and could be implemented immediately. And so I think that for me, the thing that I like about LiveReach and just in general is the fact that the customer support's there, and if I have feedback, it's being listened to, and if there's changes that they can make, they do it very quickly.
Mm,
And so that's
that's
that's what
huge.
I value.
Receptive. Yeah.
Yeah,
Two-way
there's
street.
yeah, and there's a lot of companies. There's a lot of times where there's always a product to sell to someone, and it's
Mhm.
like, hey, um, is the support there as well. And so that's just something that has been really great. So,
We use this term a lot inside of our organization that when we're paying a vendor and the check clears the account, it better feel good to clear the account. If it doesn't,
right,
we've got the wrong vendor.
Yep.
right.
So that's awesome. I appreciate both of you sharing things with me. Roger, if anybody needs to reach out for a question, a quote, whatever it may be, who can they reach out to? You got an email address you want to sling out there?
Yeah, Roger Roger.flores@livereach.ai. I'm also on Talk Car Wash too, so feel free to message me there. I don't think there's any other Roger Flores. That's
There's not.
not a very not very common name. So
Yeah, and you can also message Blake and I. We'll be happy to connect you with those
yeah,
guys. We appreciate both of you spending some time with us. Again, this was great. Gave a good deep insight into what the AI camera system's looking like as we continue to press forward. I assume from what I've heard from Roger and everybody else, it's only going to continue to evolve.
Yes, sir.
yep,
Cool. We appreciate
get
everybody taking
better.
the time to watch and listen. Keep a lookout for our next Talk Car Wash Connect.
Thank you
Thank
all.
you all. Have a good one.